Mighty Jammer, musical love.
Yeah, I would like to say, just as we're here in the BBC studios, myself and Eva Weiser. Eva Weiser has a couple of words he would like to share with the world before we start the interview. All right, over to you, Eva.
Yes, I'm at the BBC radio station, ready for an interview. Me and Jammer, it's Ever Wiser and Jammer. We're going to be interviewed on the radio station, and we are in the waiting room, waiting for them to call us up into the radio room. All right, but I have a message to even say before I've gone into the radio station. I'm telling the world right now, the greatest and the most powerful way to act, the most powerful way of functioning is to function into love and unity. And I am spreading a message, love and unity in our community. And if we are not functioning in love and unity, and we are creating wars and crime and violence, anyone who is creating the war and the crime and the violence, they are sinking deep in the bottomless pit. But when you unite together as one, living this way, we all who are living in love and unity, we are living on top of the world. While they who are making war, they are sinking deep in the bottomless pit. They're sinking deep in a sinking sand.
Lee Graham, and I'm really looking forward to this interview with the Mighty Jammer and Ever Wiser. As we're going to be talking all things love and unity. And here we go. There we go. You coming in?
Yeah.
So yes, always feeling the love, feeling the vibes, and it's also Wellness Wednesday. I like to call it as well. So you can't get more wellness than two fantastic people in the studio. So looking forward to this one.
Mighty Jammer,
Mighty Ever
Wiser.
Yes, loving it. Oh, and I've got my goodies as well.
Yes.
I'm going to be listening to this on my way home. It's going to be one of my staple CDs in my car, so I appreciate it.
God bless.
Something in the air this afternoon, that is for sure. I was going to say my guest. It's my guests, I should say, today is UK's #1 steel pan solo champion, Mighty Jammer. And having played at iconic music venues like Ronnie Scott's and the Jazz Cafe, Jammer is a prolific musician known for cooking up a tune, as people say. So joining Jammer as well as myself in the studio is also Ever Wiser, who has been collaborating on new music with Jammer. So a very good afternoon to both of you. How are we?
Yeah, great, and it's wonderful to be here with someone as beautiful as you.
Oh, bless. Oh, don't. You're going to make me blush. I didn't pay him to say that, don't worry. But no, listen, I have got, as you just heard me mention, I've got my Jamaican roots and my Irish roots and everything as well. But this is special for me because I think when it comes to sort of the Jamaican culture and especially the background of the music and the musical heritage, it's such an uplifting vibe and an uplifting sound, and I'm all about frequencies and vibrations, as we've just been talking about off air. So first and foremost, how did you get into music? How did you go into this field?
Right, okay. Well, I started off. Actually, I'll tell you a quick little story. I was told as a youngster, before I could even speak, I used to actually sing.
Okay.
And there was a song I always used to sing every time. There was a song, I Was Born Under a Wandering Star.
All right, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. That was way back. But anytime that show used to come on TV, I was told that I'd wake up and start singing it. And that was from probably about 2-3 years of age. And then from there, I moved on to playing the bass guitar because my brother used to produce music for the Maccabee from Wolverhampton and also Aisha. So I grew up. So from 9 years old, I started playing the bass. Then I used to play a lot in the church. Mm-hmm. And then when I was turned 11, that was 1978, my other brother, Norman Stewart, he's based in Birmingham, he makes the steel pans.
Nice.
He started teaching me the steel pans, and ever since then. Oh, and actually, before I was playing the steel pans, there was a little part in between when I used to play the pots and pans.
Wow, okay,
And that
that's
was the
where you
one
sort of
when
cut
Dad
your
and Mum
teeth, as
used
they
to-
say.
yeah. When Dad and Mum left the house.
Give me back my Dutch pot.
Yeah, the Dutch pot, the frying pan, anything.
Take me pot again. Sure.
Yeah, I'm better at the spoon.
Exactly that. Now, I mean, especially when it comes to steel, the steel pans as an instrument, it is very specific. It's very niche, and obviously it has a very distinctive sound as well. So, did you ever think that you would get to be the UK #1 steel pan solo champion back then? Because, of course, that's something that's also worth noting.
Yeah, well, funny enough, because when I was playing the steel pans, I reached a stage in my life when, because I was playing the bass guitar and the steel pans, but luckily at a very early age, I realised there's a lot of people playing bass guitars, but not many people playing the steel pans.
Yeah.
So I started sticking with the steel pans. Then they started having competitions in London for the steel bands and the soloist competitions.
Right.
Now, when I entered the soloist competitions, a lot of the other players were playing classical music.
Okay, yeah.
Right, but I always thought to myself, well, if I compose my own music and play it to the best of my ability,
Yeah.
then I can only come first, and then you know, give God thanks. That's how we managed to win 3 of the competitions, and also arranged a composition for another player in the band, because we used to have quite a large community band based at Cannon Hill Park,
Yeah.
called the Maestros. My brother used to run the Maestros, and so we had a lot of youngsters playing in the band, and myself and my brother were actually quite prominent. My brother was running the band, and I was also doing music, so we used to spend a lot of time. So a lot of the dedication. I mean, we used to practice for hours. So from 10 in the morning till 10 at night, I'd be there every day, not eating, just practicing.
That's why you're a champion.
Exactly.
Practice makes perfect, as they
but
say.
as I got older, I learned, no, practice a bit, eat, do a bit of family life.
No, I hear that. Now, I mean, you've obviously had some great musical moments as well. So what are some of the highlights of your career for you?
There's been quite a few, like playing in Trinidad. Trinidad Carnival was, very exceptional. Also, when I went to Japan on tour, that was, very...
Japan's fantastic.
Yeah,
One
that
of
was
my favourite countries.
Yeah, that was brilliant, and how we were received.
And they love, but in Japan, people underestimate when it comes to sort of black music. They embrace it so much, and it's beautiful to see and experience.
Yeah, and also like the Maldives, when I was hired to go to the Maldives. But I think some of the biggest achievements is like my son. He started playing from he's 5 years old.
Right,
he's 29.
Steel pans as well.
Steel pans, and that's all he's ever done for his living. He's never worked anywhere else. He just plays the steel pan. My wife, who supported me like with these beautiful uniforms.
Lovely.
My daughter, who helps do all the admin work. I think those are the biggest achievements.
Kept it in the family.
Yeah. So I can do the music, and surrounded with a nice family unit of positive vibrations.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, most people know as well, we were talking off air, because obviously my mum sings, and outside of here I manage my mum alongside my dad. My brother's a musician and he performs as well, and so I look after kind of all of them, so I completely get that, and that's why I've had the chance to travel and tour the world. So the fact that you're someone that has been able to embrace that, I think, is also something that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And you sort of get to share the experience. Now, any famous musicians along the way?
I worked with people like Courtney Pine,
Amazing.
People in Trinidad, famous singers like his name is Uncle Crazy. If people know the song Nanny Wine, Nanny Wine down, so
Loving it.
Yeah. Now I worked with him. I've actually composed songs that he's actually sung for me. Other famous people, I've done quite a few famous stuff. There's even like Diana. Her True Story. I was approached to provide the steel band music for that as well. I've done a lot of things, but sometimes you kind of forget and you keep track. Because I think my biggest problem is that even though I can be working along famous people, but I'm so focused on what I do.
Yeah,
I tend to. It's not after people say, "Oh, do you know that so and so? Do you know that?" I think, "Oh."
Well, I've already told you, I'm going to be making sure we add Jackie Graham to this list of people as well. So there's little bits coming up on the old reggae front. So I'm like, right, she's going to be she's getting her nails done, ready for my brother's wedding on Friday. So she'll be listening. Yeah, man. Give me some steel drums. So
I've heard that, and a beautiful legend,
want to speak to you as well because, of course, you two have been doing a project together.
Unity, that's what I want for you and me. Love and unity in our community. Love and unity, and that's the only way we can be free. Oh, na 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 na. Hey.
See, even if the sun wasn't shining, it's just one of those that instantly brings you that feel-good good vibe. Evo, it's great to meet you as well. So how did you two sort of come into contact with each other and come up with this collaboration?
Well, in the street doing some busking, and he's doing the same thing, sir. Sometimes we never know each other, and we meet because of the greatness of my guitar skills and my singing, and the greatness of his steel drum player is like we cling together because we are like on top. Because I could give you a little story. Sometime in the 90s, they carried me to Mexico to do a world show.
Okay.
And I come first in the world, the best performer. So at that time, they called me an international reggae superstar.
Lovely.
From that time.
Love it.
So, because of his greatness and because of my greatness, we cling together.
And in terms of your, I suppose, inspiration, then that's something I sort of wanted to ask both of you as well. Who have been some of your musical inspirations as you've progressed?
Bob Marley is one of the main person. I listen to all the other artists, but I choose Bob Marley because he has actually the same message that I am spreading.
And your message is what? Tell us more.
Love and unity throughout the whole world. But I'm just saying, let us have love and unity in our community.
Yes.
So in their community, they should have the same thing too, because wars and crime and violence is mashing up the world. And the only way we can build back this world is to live in love and unity. We must care for each other. Yeah. We must share with each other. We must learn to give each other, to support each other. And if someone even give you a wrong thing, or somebody done you a wrong thing, we should even forgive to make the vibration more better. Because I am on the highest vibration, which is love.
Yes. And that's the fact that it's one of the highest frequencies out there. And again, off air we were talking about frequencies and energies and so on and so forth. And you also obviously made reference to especially everything within sort of society that's taking place at the moment. So I think it's even more powerful now that we have this kind of music to uplift people's spirits and the community. So I think the work in which that you're both doing is something that's very, very special. Let's just have a quick listen as well to the Mighty Jammer and the sound when it comes to the steel drums.
Mighty Jammer sound is the talk of the town. Mighty Jammer sound, spreading the good vibes around. Mighty Jammer sound is the talk of the town. Mighty Jammer sound, spreading the good vibes around. Mighty Jammer sound is the talk of the town.
Spreading the good vibes indeed. Now, Jammer, I know you've switched up camera roles here for a second, but Jammer, you have, is it right, 24 albums on sale on your website. So where do you find the time?
Right. Okay. Mainly I record in the winter. Yeah. Yep. So in those quiet months, from January to probably March, focus on the recording. But it was like, because every time I was playing, every time people come and say, oh, have you got that song on the album, and so on. So then I realized, because what it was as well is that a lot of the radios and the popular outlets don't play steel band music. It's very hard to get steel band music. So I realized, well, I need to contribute and fill that gap in the market.
Well, I think it is something that is, I suppose, ordinarily associated with carnival season. Of course, carnival season is approaching. I mean, my friends as well have just been to, I want to say, was it Reggae Land? I think there was a big Reggae Land festival that was taking place down in Milton Keynes at the weekend just gone.
I did hear of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
so but it always seems to be sort of very seasonal.
Yeah.
And like I said, when it comes to carnival, then that's what you associate it with, or when you're watching a movie that's based in sort of the Caribbean or whatever, or the cricket. When it comes to sort of test series. So I think the fact that you are making this kind of music much more accessible to people is something that's really important. And I think there's going to be a lot of people out there as well that find it just as special as what I do. I mean, in terms of yourselves, you've given. I've got a lovely CD here as well that I'm going to be listening to.
Yeah.
I can imagine not just my mom, my dad's going to be probably going to be like, no, we'll put that in our car, thank you.
And
so, yes.
So could I just mention as well, just on the CD thing?
Yes.
You know, because I don't know if you know that I've actually done an Irish album, Irish and country western, and I've recently done a Bollywood album.
Really?
Yeah, Bollywood, and I'm just at the moment finishing off a classical album. So we're really trying to get the music, to all different parts. And another very important thing, what happened on Sunday. And I think with the community, I think we should really be aware of this. Now, me and Evo were walking. I'm not going to say which part of town, but there was some kids, they're about 10 year olds, and they were standing up, and there was a guy playing music in the car, and the music he was playing was just full of swear words and terrible. And after then I said to Evo, I've got to say something. So I called the kids over to my van. And I said, listen, that's not the kind of music you're supposed to listen to. And then Evo sung, Love and Unity. Whether you are black, whether you are white, let's get together. And and he sung it to them live. And I said, this is the kind of music you're supposed to listen to. And I said, you heard of Bob Marley? And they said, yeah. I said, well, look, when Bob Marley was around, he wasn't singing that kind of swear word music.
Yeah.
And quickly, what I found what really touched my heart was, as a youngster, when I used to talk to elders, they would be playing positive music.
Yes.
They'd be reading the Bible. They'd be talking positiveness, right? And there's no way they'd have little kids around and playing, music, so degrading. And then I was thinking that the people in the car playing the music, I was thinking, have you got kids?
Yeah.
Would you like someone else be playing that kind of music for your little 10-year-old to be standing up there listening to? And these are the things we need to stamp out in the community. We need to. I'm not gonna put a halo around myself, but I've taught my son to play from 5 years old. He's never had to work, he's never had to look for work anywhere else. He's 29 years old. Fortunately, he's buying his own house from playing steel band music. Now, people in the community, I would appreciate if they were to take on board what I have to offer, so I could teach more youngsters and Evo, we could teach more youngsters to play musical instruments and set out a positive vibe.
Listen, I think it's a beautiful message. Each one teach one. I'm a big fan of that. Mighty Jammer, Ever Wiser, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you both here in the studio today, and thank you for raising the vibrations in the studio. I'm sure you've raised the vibrations out for everybody who's listening as well, so it's been an absolute treat. Great guys. Mighty Jammer, Ever Wiser, loving it. Love and unity. Mighty Jammer.
And Mighty Natalie.
Love it. Appreciate you both coming in today. Absolute treat.
Email jammersteelpan@hotmail.com or call 07799442277. Email jammersteelpan@hotmail.com or call 07799442277.
Subscribe to Mighty Jammer.
Subscribe.
Love music.
Hi, I'm Natalie Graham, and I pop up every now and again on the BBC. Got a podcast, a positivity. In fact, I want to get you on my positivity podcast, Natterbox. So yes, then we can have a real chat about music, raising vibrations, and so on and so forth. But yeah, two wonderful, very, very talented gentlemen. It's been a pleasure and an honour to have you in the studio today. So keep on spreading the love and making beautiful music.
The greatest function on earth is when you're functioning in love and unity, cause united we strong, but divided we are falling in the deepest pit, even the bottomless pit. They're going down. All those who are creating wars and crimes, they are sinking deep in the bottomless pit. But those who come together and unite as one, that's the way how we must live, and that's the people who are on top. So, those who are for war, they are going to the bottomless pit, and those who are for peace and love, they are on top of the world.